who isn't afraid of hard work and has a little bit of imagination. What will we find when we venture outside?
So out into the back garden, and not so much of a garden, there's a sort of patch of concrete at the moment, but you can at least see the flat roof there, which is above the kitchen, notorious for problems flat roofs if you're not careful, so definitely need to get that checked out. And this could be a nice space, but bearing in mind what we heard earlier, oh yeah, sure, that there is the train line. And I think that is the main line between London and South Wales. So it's going to have quite a lot of trains going backwards and forwards. Something to bear in mind in the middle of the night. Passing train might not be the only thing keeping the future buyer awake at night. On the other side of the property is an extremely busy road that leads to the nearby steel factory. This is a prime example of why it's essential to view a property before purchase. We've asked a local property expert to get her opinions on this property and what she thinks would be best to do with it.
I've had a look around the property. It needs a lot of work. Although the property has been literally stripped bare, back to bare brick, there's still a lot of remedial work to do here. The property will need full modernisation, going from a rewire, all new plumbing, plastering, and there are areas that will need to be made secure.
So once the house is fully refurbished, what could the returns be?
We would market this property at £79,995,000. The property, when it's completed, will be in the region of £500 to £525 per calendar month.
Well, obviously, a lot of work to be done on this one, and you really do need to keep a tight rein on those expenses to sort it out, because there will be a ceiling price for properties in the area. But an interesting project, perhaps not in the best of locations, but remember that guide price, £30,000 plus. Let's see who bought it when it went under the hammer. This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online, so we can't show you footage of the successful bidder on the day. So, but for £43,500, the successful bidders were Randy and Anchor, who had dreamt of getting involved in the property development world for a long time and decided this house would make the perfect addition to their newly initiated and rapidly growing rental portfolio. Randy, Anchor, lovely to meet you both.
Lovely to meet you too.
Lovely to meet you.
Congratulations, I think. Tell me why you wanted to buy this house then.
We wanted for a long while to invest in property. We looked at the numbers and we were like, we think this will work.
Wow. So did you get to see the property before you bought it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Was it not open to viewing?
No, so this property, we had to call a locksmith in order to let us in.
Oh.
Nobody had a key because this house council sell it and they don't have a keys.
So I've got to ask then, what did you think when you first walked in? This is right. You haven't done this kind of thing before, right?
We have.
You have? Oh, okay.
So our first property we bought in February this year.
Right, okay.
And this is our 5th property in 4 months.
Wow. Let's talk about the house then. What are you going to do to it to sort it out?
So the plan is put maybe wood frame all over and then plasterboard and skin.
Okay.
So be nice like in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything, new floors. We find the kind of new kitchen in the property already.
So any change to the layout? The biggest thing obviously is bathroom, isn't there? Because there's just the loo downstairs here.
Yes.
What are you going to do about bathroom?
So we are putting one toilet upstairs.
Yeah.
Just one toilet and bathroom in the back, like a bath with shower.
What? Just putting a partition across where it is at the moment?
Yeah, the main, which is the wall is there already.
Yeah.
Taking it off and make it one.
Okay, oh, great, okay. Then you still have a reasonable sized kitchen as well, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And then so there's a toilet going into one of the bedrooms, a bigger bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
into what it used to be the cupboard on the landing wall.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
So we make a dark stunt wall there, and
Okay.
because it's going to be, if there's a family here, it's nice to be have a toilet upstairs.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is kids, so they don't have to come in during the night to come downstairs.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good thing to do.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And then obviously, you know, with the location, you know, obviously you're aware of everything that's going on here. You know, you're about the train line at the back. I mean,
No, we're not concerned. No.
Right,
So-
but the fact that you've got the noise from the trains and possibly noise from the road and factory, that doesn't matter
No.
particularly. So what's the budget for the work, and who's going to do the work?
We are thinking around 20,000, and I'm doing good myself most of the work, but I'm bringing trades in as well, like electrician.
And what's the time scale?
4 to 5 weeks, I suppose.
Weeks?
Yes,
What?
yes.
You can't do this in 4 to 5 weeks, can you?
We do work.
No kidding.
No kidding. No.
Wow. Okay. Well, wow. Yeah. I mean, the sooner the better, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. As far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Good luck with it. And really can't wait to see how you go on.
Thank you so
Us
much.
too. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, what an inspiration Randy and Anka are. Not phased at all by the work that's involved here and doing it for all the right reasons. But can they honestly get this place sorted out in 4 to 5 weeks? Really? You can find out later in the show. Tommy's in the Northwood district of Stoke-on-Trent, originally part of Hanley. In 1829, William Ridgway at Northwood House changed the area from a demoralised part of Hanley into a beautiful, clean, well-ordered hamlet. But will today's house be clean and well-ordered? Let's hope so.
I'm here to see a typical 2-bedroom mid-terrace house with a guide price of £46,000. And this is it. First impressions, it's all looking a bit tired. But what I'm really focused on is these steps. They're very steep, there's 5 steps. It's unusual, and they're in poor condition. They're all cracked and they've been repaired plenty of times, there's evidence of that. But what I'm concerned about, if you have mobility issues, you might have problems getting up those 5 steps and into the house. And also, imagine if you're like me with size 12 feet and they only fit halfway up the steps. Yeah, how are you going to get up there on a Friday night after a couple of beers? Better than I expected. I like the feature wall, and that needs to be addressed. You can't have all the electrics exposed like that, it's far too dangerous. So I'd want that to be housed. Yeah, front door needs to be changed. Now this is an issue. I can see why they've used a fully glazed door to bring borrowed light from this room, which is nice and bright, into the next room. But this glass doesn't meet building regs. You'd need to change this glass into either toughened or laminated glass. But actually, you'd be better off probably to change the door, have it half glazed, and one big glass panel in there. That'd be the way it'd look nicer as well, a bit more stylish. But not a bad start. Good bit of storage space. And this is a lovely big room. And it's bright and spacious, yeah. But the thing that jumps out at me as an issue in this room is that back wall there looks like there's evidence of serious damp problems at one time. That's something that needs attention. Here we are in the kitchen. Units look a bit tired. Paintwork's fresh though. Oh, and then there's the obvious elephant in the room. Cooker, boiler. Not a good thing. Imagine if all these elements were on in the oven, the amount of heat would be coming up inside this boiler. And there are plastic components inside the boiler. And of course, it's full of gas. That's got to be addressed. But you could just redesign this kitchen and make it work. In the bathroom, again, it's looking a bit tired. We've got a spa bath here. But this could be overhauled and reused. There's a new shower there, and it's not in bad condition. It just needs a bit of TLC and a little bit of work done on it. Yeah, not bad. Let's have a look outside now, because it's something I need to see. Yes, typical. Not too much room out here. Oh, that harks back to my younger days. Crazy paving. I made loads of that when it was the fashionable thing to do. Yes, but I can see what the problem is. The serious problem with the damp. This has all been overlaid 3 or 4 times possibly, and it's bridged the damp course. So therefore, that's brought the dampness into the walls, and that pushes the plaster off from the inside. All you have to do to remedy that is to lift this up, lower the floor level down to the original, end the problem.
So the solution to the damp could be quite straightforward. However, moving the downstairs bathroom upstairs wouldn't be quite so simple. But there is enough space to do it if you were so minded. I'd certainly think about adding a shower room and making one of the bedrooms en suite. It's just a case of how much money you want to sink into this house. Talking of sinking...
The reason I'm back outside is I know there was a mining report done on the property, and it shows that right here was an entrance to a mine shaft, and that's directly outside the house. So the problem with that, it could affect the mortgageability of this house. And that's why we say here on Homes Under the Hammer, read the legal pack.
Yes, mortgage companies get a little nervous if a mine shaft lies within 20 metres of a house. In this case, it's certainly closer than that, but there aren't any noticeable cracks in the house. So currently, it doesn't look like there are any significant issues that would turn this into a money pit. But what can an agent from the auction house that sold the property tell us about it?
I personally have never known of any issues with any property subsidence because of a mine entry point, but any potential buyer would really need to do their due diligence, download the legal pack and read it fully before bidding on a property.
Yes, listen to that man. But it is reassuring, despite the presence of old mine shafts in the area, that there are no undue reasons for concern. What about the property itself?
I think the property is in need of some modernisation. It really does need some new windows, new kitchen, new bathroom. The wiring is all, the plugs and sockets are all surface mounted. If it was me, I would bury them into the wall. I also noticed a small amount of damp as well in one of the rooms.
Okay, so all things considered, what might this house that was guided at £46,000 be worth once renovated?
Once the property has been renovated to a good standard, ordinarily the value would be £75,000. But because of the former mine entry point, this would have a negative effect on the mortgageability and would reduce the value of the property probably to around £65,000.
So the resale price does take a bit of a hit, but it shouldn't affect the potential rental return.
Once refurbished, this property would rent for £450 per calendar month.
There's quite a lot of work to be done on this house, but it's a good, solid property with great potential. Let's hope that whoever bought it has read the legal pack and is aware of the mining report. Let's see who that person was when it went under the hammer.
Well, this lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
You all sit well, thank you.
And the successful click of the mouse was made by Rosie, who got the 2-bedroom terraced house for £50,000. Rosie works in cancer research and is going to be helped out on this renovation by Dad, Craig. He fits bathrooms and is also a tiler, which could come in very handy here.
Craig and Rosie, it's very nice to meet you. But the first question I have to ask you is, why did you decide to buy this property?
So I viewed this house online a few weeks ago. I liked the look of the property and I just went for it.
Right, so that was your decision or a decision by the two of you?
It's a Rosie property. I'm just here to do the work.
Yes, like most fathers with their daughters. Yeah, you do all the work, but you get all the glory.
Yeah.
Is it for you or to live in, or is
It's
it?
to rent out.
It's to rent out.
Yes.
Right, and is this the first time you've ever done anything like this?
This is actually the third house.
The third house.
Yes.
And there's quite a lot to do here. And what do you plan to do? How big's your budget? And how
So
long
my
is it?
budget is £6,000
£6,000
Yes.
for the whole job.
for the whole job.
So where's your main areas of spend going to be?
So it needs a new front door, a new back door. It needs new windows, double glazed windows, new flooring in the kitchen and bathroom,
Paint, decoration.
and paint and decoration.
Right, but you're not putting in a new kitchen or a new bathroom.
No,
So you're
not for
just-
renting purposes.
What about the obvious damp problems in this room?
So the damp problems we will try and address and sort out as soon as possible.
Now, can I give you a few tips on that?
Yes.
One of the most common problems I've found in my career in building is that people, they overlay the floor outside in the garden. And it builds up, bridges the damp course, brings the moisture in, and then it just blows the plaster off the wall. The simplest way to correct it, lift up the floor and lower it down to its original floor level.
Right, okay.
And then the damp course works again, and you just have to plaster the inside as normal. Because all it is a bit of hard graft, a bit of digging, and take the slabs up and put them back down.
So yeah, I'll give that a go.
Well, hopefully that will save Rosie a few quid and not eat into her precious £6,000 budget. She's keen to get this bill turned around quickly, as she already has potential tenants lined up to view it. She's set a timescale of just 6 to 8 weeks to complete the work.
I must ask you, did you actually read the legal pack?
Yes, we did, yes.
And did you find anything detrimental about the property in the pack?
So there is a mine shaft that's under the property.
Did that not worry you?
No, because quite a few properties in this area have all got a mine shaft.
That may affect the mortgageability, or does that not really matter to you?
Well, this is for rental purposes only for the time being, so.
So you're not worried about it, so you can just get on and do what you need to do.
Yes.
Well, it's really nice talking to you both, and I want to wish you sincere good luck. I think you might need it. It will be a fabulous property, and I think in the long term, you picked the winner. So good luck.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a lovely father and daughter team. Really nice to see. And I know that Rosie's done this sort of work before. She's got projects behind her with her dad helping her. So there shouldn't be anything here in this particular property that should frighten her. But can she actually do the whole project for the budget of £6,000? And can she actually complete it in that short time span that she wants to do it? You can find out later on in the show.
Coming up, Jackie's having bathroom trouble in Folkestone, so all in all, not too bad. But still, the question remains, what do we do about the bathroom? And in Northwood, Super Dad has been on hand to help out.
He's helped me to do quite a lot of the work, and I'm very grateful for him.
Back now to Wales and Port Talbot, where we first saw a 2-bed mid-terrace that was guided at £30,000 and didn't have much going for it. Look. That explains the low guide price then. Yeah, throughout this house there was nothing but bare bricks and empty spaces. I want to say it's a blank canvas, but it's not really a blank canvas. It's more of a muddy pile of bits and pieces that you hope might be put into something that will actually work at some point. Well, that was the challenge, to turn dust and bricks into a desirable dwelling. Mind you, the house was perfect if you wanted regular trains passing through the bottom of your garden. All of which was news to Randy and Anka, who bought it sight unseen for £43,500 in an online auction. They may be relatively new to property development, but they were going at it like an express train.
Our first property we bought in February this year,
Right, okay.
and this is our 5th property.
Wow. And so this is probably number 5.
This is number 5,
Number
yes.
5. Wow.
And property 5 was going full steam ahead with a £20,000 budget and a 4 to 5 week timescale to get this place to its destination as a rental property. Well, that was going some, and now, 9 weeks later, we're back. So let's hoping stepping into this house this time is a more pleasant surprise. Well, it sure is, from kitchen to bathroom. The 2 reception rooms are almost finished and looking much better. And what have they done upstairs?
So here is that's one big room before. What we do here, we put this stud wall here to make this small room like as a nursery, and this one still we have a nice big size double room.
And that bedroom's not the only addition to upstairs.
So here there used to be an old cupboard, and we've put the toilet in it. I think it's really important to have a toilet upstairs and be able to wash your hands or whatever you do in the evening, night, morning, whenever.
With what is now the 3rd bedroom finished and central heating fitted throughout, the house is nearly ready to go. Outside, well, that's just being tidied up. So nearly everything is renovated. But is everything new?
We've managed to recycle the kitchen, which we are very happy about because we found this kitchen here. But apart from that, everything had to be done because we had a roof and 4 outside walls standing, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
They did employ plumbers, plasterers and electricians. So how involved were they?
I do quite a lot. I do the tiling by myself, I do the carpet by myself, and I help my friend who helping with the plumbing.
The kids helped with painting. I've discovered that I'm absolutely dreadful at painting. I don't know if someone can be dreadful at painting, but I definitely am. I would have thought just put the brush there and you go up and down. Well, I don't seem to be that able in that part, which is ridiculous. The kids are like, Mom, you don't do that way. Look how many trips you're doing. Oh, okay. So I give up painting on the next project.
So it sounds like Anka has to brush up on her painting skills, though apparently she has another role that she's a specialist in.
To annoy him. My main job was to annoy him. Why is he not ready yet?
Well, sometimes a little blast doesn't go amiss. And in this case, it seems to have worked, because although we're back 9 weeks later, they have actually been working on the house for just 7 weeks, and 1 more week should see it completed. But at what cost? Did they stick to their £20,000 budget?
When we came in, we find a nice kitchen and stuff like this, and all the windows and doors are new. And now we are the mark on 19K.
Well, the £19,000 spend on top of the £43,500 purchase price takes their total cost to £62,500. So, money well spent? What does the local estate agent think?
It is done to an average refurbishment. It's been plastered, new carpets, tiles on the wall. Yeah, it's quite nice, new radiators. The toilet upstairs is a good idea, but personally I would have kept it as a 2-bed rather than a 2-bed plus a study or a nursery. It's probably a little bit too small to be classed as your 3rd bedroom.
Yes, you can see perhaps the 3rd bedroom is a bit small. But as a rental property, more bedrooms generally mean more revenue. So what are the figures here?
For the property on the rental market, between £550 and £600 per calendar month.
Yeah, we think this is what the estate agent will be going for. She's looking at.
And even £550 per calendar month would see a yield above 10%. And the agent thought the house would sell for around £80,000 to £85,000. That's a potential pre-tax profit of £17,500 to £22,500. And with another property project lined up, I guess the big question is, will they work together on it?
Yes.
I was wondering if he's going to say yes or no.
This is Folkestone in Kent, a seaside town that suffered the same fate as many other tired Victorian holiday resorts. However, with millions invested to revive the area, it's now an increasingly sought-after place to be. So, although Folkestone is still relatively good value, all the improvements here are driving property prices one way, and that's up.
Now, as far as locations go, you couldn't get much better than this for Folkestone, because just a few minutes walk away, not only have you got the cool creative quarter, but also the bustling town centre. And just a 10-minute walk away, there's the seafront and the station. It's a win-win in my book. Now, the property I'm here to see went to auction with a guide price of £55,000 plus. And here it is. It looks nice from the outside. And no, before you get too excited, you do not get the entire property. It is a 1-bedroom flat and it's on the top floor. And I'm thinking I'm going to take those stairs to get up there. You've got your own staircase leading up to your flat. I like it actually. Ooh. Now, although it's nice to have your own staircase leading up to your flat, there's a lot of stairs. And remember, practical, head-on, you're going to have to bring materials up, but also, judging by the look from here, you're going to have to take materials out. And for me, I'd have to have less shopping. But into your landing, and it's quite bright, nice high ceilings. I can see there's a little bit of a loft space, but nothing that you can go up into. This is it. The floors are a little bit wibbledy-wobbledy, but not bad. So into what I'm thinking is the kitchen. Why do I say that? I can see a kitchen sink, and I can see a socket there that says cooker. Get all your electrics checked out. Someone's had a go, and they've obviously ripped everything out. I can see exposed brick. And you're on the top floor. You should definitely think about insulation. Remember, you've got the roof to also consider. And talking of insulation, you're in a flat. You've got your neighbours below you to consider, to think about soundproofing. But it's quite a bright space. You've got that window coming through, bringing in lots of light, but there's a lot of sort of chipping of paint, and that needs to be looked at structurally to make sure that sounds. The other thing is this slanted sort of wall here. You could take a little bit out of the landing, because it's quite a large landing, and just square this off. And then you'd have a bit more space to play with. You know that's going to have to go. Into what is the bedroom. Not a bad size, actually. Nice high ceilings. Obviously, it just needs a refresh. What have we got here? It's a bathroom. So that means if you've got guests here, your guests have to come through your bedroom to then access the bathroom. Not ideal. I would, again, take that out. The bathroom's got to go somewhere else. And then look at this. What great views. I can see the sea. This is amazing. Right, we need to make more of a feature of this, don't we? Could you have Juliet balcony here? That would be lovely. That would flood in so much light. You can open up the doors, have a cup of coffee, and just look at those spectacular views. But what do we do about the bathroom? Okay, and into the living room. It's a decent size, actually. Again, nice high ceilings, very bright. It feels really light in here. I can see a little bit of signs of damp right there, just underneath the roof window. You will have to get that checked out. But overall, a bit of a refresh, some design ideas. This place would be amazing. You've got your double fronted windows there, double glazed, which is always a good sign. So all in all, not too bad. But still, the question remains, what do we do about the bathroom? What you gonna do?
Well, someone who will know what to do would be a local property expert. So we've invited one along to lend us some advice on how to get the most out of this property in the local market. We'll just give her a minute to get up those stairs.
I would change the layout, so I would keep the large room at the front, I would have that as a bedroom. I think this wall here could not be knocked out, create an open plan, living room, kitchen, and have the previous kitchen made into a bathroom.
Sounds like Jackie was right on the money with those layout changes. So who does she think this property would appeal to?
I think this property could be finished to a reasonably high standard, and then it would appeal to a buy-to-let investor, first-time buyers looking to get their step onto the property ladder, or also it would make a good holiday let because we are very close to the harbour.
And would all those stairs put buyers off?
I don't think it's a problem being on the top floor. It won't obviously appeal to everybody. You may have a couple of issues just getting materials in and out, but other than that, access is fairly straightforward. And actually, some buyers may prefer it being on the top floor because you have got a lovely outlook as well.
And what kind of figures does she think it could get from the sales, rental, or holiday let market?
I think if this property was finished to a high standard, you could look to put it onto the market for £130,000. Rentals, I would think this property would achieve anywhere from £575 to £600 per calendar month. If the buyers were to look at doing a holiday let, I think you could get about £100 per night.
This is a small flat in need of modernisation, and it could certainly do with some layout changes. Now, I know that's going to eat into your budget, but consider this. This is in a great location, and once the work is done, I think this flat could be in high demand, either as someone's home or a holiday rental. Let's see who agreed when it went under the hammer.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online, so we can't show you the footage of the successful bidder on the day.
Well done.
But those bidders were Thomas and Lawrence, snagging the lot for a cool £69,500. The pair are an old hat at this property game, this being their 7th property in their portfolio. So was this just another day at the auction for them?
Lauren, Thomas, lovely to meet you both, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So let's go back to the auction. What was that like? You know,
Highly stressful. It was the first online one we've done. So you prepare, you sign up. I was out working at the time in a graveyard, lost signal.
Wait, hold on. In a graveyard?
I was indeed in a graveyard.
Are you a grave digger?
By night. But no, I don't do anything like that. It just happened to be where there was some signal.
Oh, right. Oh, you went there to get signal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I thought I was going for signal, but sod's law, 2 minutes before the auction ends, it kicked me out. I had no idea we'd won it, but luckily the guy seemed to have pulled out just before I bid up.
You were at work.
Yeah.
What do you do for
I've got a small building company as well that I do on the
Right.
side. Yeah.
So you lost connection, you ran out
Yeah,
into the graveyard,
indeed.
where you then picked up a signal.
On the phone to her, she was having a pretty hard time with it as well. I was trying to get Lauren to log in, but
But you got it.
yeah.
Did you visit the property?
No, we did the cardinal sin. We hadn't seen it, but we've got a very patient, helpful solicitor who always goes to the legal packs for us.
So you run a building firm, you say?
In between buying and selling,
Right.
if there's a bit of downtime between finding something, then I'll do some private stuff.
And you do
Full-time.
this property developing together?
The buying and renovating we do together. I don't really get involved with your building private work.
Okay.
We have a holiday apartment, so in the summer I manage that, just getting it turned around, new guests and things like that. So whatever I can do to help, I will. But generally the private work's yours and everything else we do together.
Together. Great teamwork, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I couldn't do it without Lauren and vice versa,
Oh.
I think.
So were you happy with the price that you paid at the auction?
Really
I
happy.
can believe
Yeah.
it, to be honest.
So were you always on the hunt for somewhere in Folkestone, and why Folkestone?
Yeah, we've wanted to do Folkestone for a few years now. We like seaside towns. We moved from London to Ramsgate ourselves about 4 years ago, just in the benefit of a good work-life balance here. We like Folkestone. It's trendy and it has lots of cool things going on. And yeah, we wanted to have a little piece of it.
Yeah, well, you certainly have.
Little being the operative word.
What about putting in maybe like a Juliet balcony? I don't know why I whispered that, but a Juliet balcony, letting all night, and you've got great views. You can see the sea.
Yeah.
It is begging for it. We have thought about it.
While the Juliet balcony would be the cherry on top, the more pressing job Thomas and Lauren are planning to do first is to reconfigure the apartment by swapping around the bathroom and kitchen and turning the current living room into a bedroom and vice versa. They've had to ask permission, which has been granted from a neighbour who is freeholder for the building. Lauren plans to give the flat a trendy, bold finish in keeping with the nearby creative quarters aesthetic, as they plan to use this as a holiday let. They hope the cool look should appeal to potential holidaymakers. They've budgeted £10,000 to £15,000 to complete the works, and they've estimated it to take between 8 and 12 weeks.
Who's going to do the work? Are you going to get your hands dirty? What's going to happen?
As much as I can. I know my limits, but I'm pretty good now. So obviously I'll get the trades in gas and electric and whatever.
Okay.
I've got good people that tick those boxes.
Have you considered, obviously, there's quite a lot of stairs, so there's clearing up to do, having to go down the stairs, materials to bring up all the stairs. Are you ready for that?
Well, it will be me, so I'll have to say why not.
And will you be keeping a keen eye, obviously, on the
design and
and the development of it?
I'll have some ideas put together to put to Tom, and then we'll make a decision together. And yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here on the days that I'm not looking after the children.
Sorry. How many children do you have?
Yeah, we have 2 children, 6 and 4. Olivia and Jasper. Yeah, shout.
Do you see any problems at all arising from this?
Maybe we'll let Juliet balcony.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be disappointed.
Well, I wish you very best of luck. It was lovely chatting to you both. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you very much.
I love Thomas and Lauren's ideas for this flat. I'm really pleased that they're going to make those layout changes. I can't wait to see the transformation. But before we get to that stage, there's plenty of work to be done. And of course, there's all those steps to walk up and down to get the job done. How will they get on? You can find out later in the show.
Erring on the side of caution can pay dividends in the property world.
Yeah, we know how one of our property buyers got on, but what about the other 2?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Back now to Northwood in Stoke-on-Trent, where Tommy visited a two-bedroom terraced house that was listed at £46,000 and had some very impractical steps.
They're very steep, there's 5 steps. It's unusual, but what I'm concerned about, if you have mobility issues, you might have problems getting up those 5 steps and into the house. And also, imagine if you're like me with size 12 feet and they only fit halfway up the steps. Yeah.